And welcome back. Today we have the new Tangula here, Tangula, the 5 series. Always interested and curious about these devices. I know some people like really hype these things up and they really want to know what's in here. So my first video, I always do a series of these things, is specs. Let's get into it, set it up, and see what the specs are. Now, if you guys are brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And leave me a comment below. Let me know if you guys have tested any of these devices. Now, when it comes to pricing and stuff like that, sometimes these guys are priced extremely high. I'm going to leave this one, if you guys want hooked up with this guy, in the comment section, in the description below. And I'll also leave in the description a link on how to get them, hopefully with the coupon code. That way you guys don't have to pay an arm and a leg. So this is, according to this thing, has a 128 gigs of ROM and 4 gigs of RAM. The chip is S905X3. Yeah, so here it is. You do have, let's see here, it looks like a power, your audio optical, HDMI, looks like an aux cable, Ethernet, standard USB, 3.0 USB, and a TF card slot reader. So not bad. Let's see what else is in the box. And I have noticed that they are trying to upgrade their stuff. This chip, according to this, it says Logic S905X3 64-bit quad-core ARM Cortex-A55 CPU. A55, wonder why they didn't go A57, A58, like something a little bit more. GPU G31 MP2 GP processor. It's using DDR3. And yeah, it looks like it has dual Wi-Fi for 2G, 5G. So let's see exactly what it is. And that TF card slot, I know we normally don't talk about it, but it supports 4 gigs, 8 gigs, 16 gigs, 32, and 64. 64 will be the highest. Now, it's kind of interesting. You have a little user guide. So it says here, enjoy these apps. Tang TV. Never heard of that one. So that's probably like their own built-in stuff. And it just has a couple things here, which I'm kind of surprised they even have a little guide like this. But I'm used to this. A user manual. And so what else you get here is you do get a power brick, which looks like a basic power brick. It actually feels a little bit on the budget side. HDMI cable, which I always say to upgrade these things when it comes to their HDMI cables, because you just want something a lot better. And then their remote, which I am not a fan of. I've seen this remote a lot, actually, with some of these devices. So I always wish they would do something a little bit better instead of using a generic remote like this. So yeah, okay, let's connect this thing and see what we get. All right, so here we go. Going over to the capture card, see if it reads it. Now, when it does come to the box, it looks like there's going to be like a little tiny clock. I know it's kind of hard to read, so yeah, interesting. And there you go. It looks like it pulled up just fine. Now the remote, I believe it did say it's Bluetooth, so I'm like pointing it in an opposite direction to see if it picks up, and it looks like it does, which is good. With the remote in the back, it has a couple like it says study function instructions. So I'll let you guys mess with that. I'll do a separate video on that stuff. So, okay, here you go. You have the Play Store, you got YouTube, file, apps, settings, wallpaper, Firefox, KDMC. So first thing I always recommend when you get here, always go to settings, and then I know my face is covering it. Always go to internet and then hook up your internet there. So once you have yourself hooked up, then you should be able to get on this thing, and it might even do some updates. So let's go ahead and sign in. Okay, here we go. So I got IDA 64. We're going to want to go to the far right, pretty much right underneath my head right here where it says apps. And we are going to go to IDA 64. Now, I love IDA 64 because it gives you everything about this device. They can't really sugarcoat anything. So it is advertised as 128 gigs of internal storage. You're actually left with 108. So that's a lot of stuff already that's taken out. 4 gigs of RAM. There it is. We know it's DDR3. This is the Amlogic chipset. The board is using AH216. Never really heard of that one. As far as your CPU goes, it is a ARM Cortex A55, and it is running 64-bit at 32-bit mode. Very interesting there. I am using a 1080p, a 4K capture card, and it is reading it as a 1920 by 1080. So it's not pulling 4K for some reason, and my card is a 4K. I've confirmed that with several other devices. So yeah, GPU is running the Mali G31. As far as your Android goes, it is using Android 11, which, again, as you guys know, if you guys haven't known about this, it's basically like phone security updates that these things are getting. So it is using Android 11, which is fine. The device is not rooted, which, again, once you have like downloader, Google, Firefox, and you can just pretty much download whatever you want. Now, most important thing here, codecs. What does this thing do? It does have, looks like you're having quadruple codecs. So if you look right here, right next to me, and actually it's going to be like right there, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It looks like it's quadruplets, and it's going to be all the same. So it's using C2 decoder, OMX decoder, and C2 encoder and OMX encoder. So you got MP4A, 3GPP, AMR, FLOC, ALA, MPEG, Opus, RAW, Vorbis. It is using DTS HD. There it is right there. DTS HD is great. I do like that it does include some of the surround sound stuff. So it's not bad. AC3. It's got some good stuff. It's got all the Amlogic stuff, all the Google stuff, which is great. As far as video codecs, it looks like it has several awesome codecs here. So VP9, AVC, AVS, AVS2. It's got Dolby Vision, which is great, and it's got 3 different versions of it: DVHE, DVAV, and DAV1. Awesome twos. Awesome. Great. They got RM10, 20, 30, 40. They do have VP8, WMV1, 2, and 3, HEVC. Again, some good stuff here. I don't see H2. Oh, there it is. Last one, H264. There is no H265. They do have H263 and H264, which is great. So it is gonna read 4K stuff, but for whatever reason, it's not pulling 4K content. It's not reading the device as 4K content. Now, I do have a 4K cable. I have an AudioQuest 4K cable, and I'm kind of curious, actually. I'm going to reset the box. I know it was doing an update before, but I'm going to reset the box here, and I'm plugging it directly. Instead of using my switcher, I'm plugging it directly to the actual capture card itself. And I did unplug it, replugged it, rebooted it. I know there's an update that this thing was doing as we were installing that IDA64, which I do got to talk about this remote, and I'll talk about that on my next video. But yeah, let's just double check that one more time, just because I am curious if it is going to read that 4K or not. 1920 by 1080p, when we're living in a 4K world, it's like, come on. Display 1920 by 1080p. So it's not pulling the 4K, even though it's gonna be able to read the 4K. It's definitely not pulling it. So yeah, just kind of curious, interesting why it's not doing it. Again, I got a cable that is an AudioQuest cable. It's one of the best ones. I believe this one is a chocolate cable, so it definitely has the capacity of pulling it. And my capture card, as confirmed in previous videos, is a 4K capture card. So yeah, let me know in the comments section below. I get very nitpicky when it comes to stuff like this. I don't know if you guys do, but leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are interested in this one, as always, shoot me an email, rohasentertainment@gmail.com. Yeah, stay tuned to the next one. We're going to be talking about well, actually, the next video we're going to be talking about everything that is included in the device, and then we're going to be talking about this guy. So yeah, with all that being said, you guys take care of each other. See you guys in the next one.